Hey guys, what's up? Maddie here, and today I have for you guys our Week 5 Power Rankings for Division 2. And with me as always is Socrates.
What's up everyone? My name is Socrates. Today, once again, we started to differ a bit, because I'm just reading through your list, and, well,
yeah,
it's different to me.
Yeah, we have pretty different lists.
So, we're gonna start off, as per usual,
yeah,
with the LA Slowkings.
Yeah, they just played a very LA Slowkings game. They didn't really impress at all.
Once again, Tapu Koko put in work. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the crit helped. The crit definitely helped.
Yeah, because the Oregon Old Men's Machamp definitely would have lived one Dazzling Gleam and then would have killed. Though I would say that they could have gotten to other things other than Machamp to take out the Tapu Koko.
They probably should have switched to something else, but I mean, they probably suspected like an HP Fire or something for Mega Sis, or at least I would have definitely suspected that. Yeah. But
potentially,
fact of the matter is that it was not necessarily a great play.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then I wanted to say, like, LA Slowkings Zen Headbutt a Mew, which was, pretty defensive, so obviously it has either a boost or recover.
And then he stayed in to die to the next Ice Beam. Granted, it was a crit, but why would you just stay in on the Mew with a Claydol?
Yep. Which was just a silly thing to do. So, the last thing I noted was, like, they're always super eager to set up. And this time when I feel like he had to set up, he didn't actually do it.
Yeah, that definitely, setting up with something like Mega Gyarados definitely would have helped him out in the match. And, again, this is more a comment about his team, but he didn't really have much to handle Digger's Play plus Mega Scizor. Like, his team in itself is not very bulky, and thus, and his offense, while it can be good, like Tapu Koko is a really strong special attacker, he hasn't been using it very well, so with that, Diggersby and Mega Scizor kind of just ran over his team.
Yeah, well, Scarf Diggersby was just, I mean, looking at his current lineup, but nothing wants to take 2 returns or EQs. So basically I had no switch-ins to Diggersby, which ended up getting 3 kills. And then since he left a lot of stuff into the Mew, well, that got 2 kills. Admittedly, he did double on the Druddigon, which was a good play. I'm not sure whether that was on purpose, but let's just give
him the benefit of the doubt there. Yeah.
Right there. That was a good play. I had no idea why you were going to want to stay in on that obvious Dazzling Gleam, but maybe they thought they didn't need Druddigon anymore anyway.
Perhaps they wanted a free switch into something to see what it would lock itself into, if it was locked or something like that.
Yep. So, that was definitely a play. But, so, once again, other Slowkings maybe should, like, look for some better walls, if those are available in the free, if those are still available.
There's got to be some walls in free agency. I can take a look, I'd take a look right now, but we're recording a video.
Yeah, well, we can continue as well. You can just go through your number 11 if you like.
Alright, so my number 11 right now is the Black City Unown. Yeah, these guys, overall, they, again, like they also, because they didn't really play impressively this week. The Black City Unknowns played very weirdly against the Olympic played their Olympic really weirdly against the Gligar, staying in on its Earthquake just to knock off repeatedly, even though it already knocked off its item. And then, also, leaving Celesteela in on the Drapion so it can set up a Swords Dance and then an Agility. That was kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what ended up leading to his demise at the end of the match. Overall, he just didn't really play.
I had a different reasoning why he lost, but I'll get into that as soon as, well, I obviously talk about Black City anyway.
Well, yeah. Overall, I just think they played very. They played very standard. They didn't really make any too fanciful plays. I mean, they tried to predict an Earthquake with Togekiss on the Alolan but the Cincinnati Beldums played well in Toxic there, and he tried to predict.
Well, I thought he predicted the Roost, right? Because that would make sense that the Gligar would do that. But then, obviously, you know, Cincinnati Golem made a good play there in Toxic.
Yeah, I can see the roost happening as well. Overall, I think that this match was basically just even with such a hacksy start at the beginning with Thunderbolt critting and paralyzing the Darmanitan with Porygon 2. Overall, I think that that momentum didn't really earn him much, and in the end, he just kind of petered out.
I do think the Darm would have helped at the end, but, you know, what can you do, right? Darm gets crit and paralyzed, so that's basically a useless Darm from there.
Pretty much. I don't think PC should have predicted the Garchomp to switch in there, but I'll talk about more about that when we get to the Cincinnati Beldums.
My number 10 would then be the Kiwana Lucario.
I assume your 11 then is Black City Unown?
Oh, no, sorry. This is my number 11.
Okay.
My number 11 is Kiwana Lucario. I moved him down one spot because I was less impressed by the Kiwana Lucario instead of Black City Unown. Black City Unown being my number 10 then. But Kiwana Lucario is number 11. I mean, they brought a very nifty set, right? With the Mantine, which was Whirlpool plus Toxic to catch the
that was really cool.
That was kind of nifty, but what it had Rain Dance for whatever reason. But it didn't have Scald or Air Slash to, you know, it whittled Slowbro even harder. So eventually Slowbro didn't die to the Whirlpool Toxic shenanigans because it had Rain Dance and Roost as its side moves. But had it had like an Air Slash or maybe even a Defog, it would have helped him out more in the long run. So Rain Dance was absolutely unnecessary. I think Scald would have probably been the best option there.
Yeah.
Admittedly, Palm Beach Palestine was just prepping really well, or like very standard actually. I do think that Palm Beach Palestine's prep is relatively predictable, but
yeah,
I mean,
it was
they're
nothing too
executing
extraordinary.
They're executing their game plan reasonably well. They're not doing anything extraordinary, but they're just playing their games, well, at least decently.
Yeah.
So, Kiwana Lucario, actually, I think they lost 5-0. Yeah, they did lose 5-0.
I want to mention one part of the Kiwana Lucario's match, since I have them as my number 10, so I'm going to talk about them anyway. There's the match between, it was after Dodrio had knocked out Delmize with a knockoff. Vec made this huge spiel that this move would decide the match, that if Raichu won the speed tie against Dodrio, that would decide the match. He had a Registeel he could have gone into, which would have taken any move that Dodrio went for. Even Jump Kick doesn't do too much to it, considering it's a super effective move. So I don't understand why he would risk losing Alolan Raichu just for this moment, especially because the Palm Beach Paladins didn't reveal an item, which turned out to be Scarf, so the entire debacle didn't even matter.
I'm somewhat assuming that he knew that the Dodrio was Scarf, so I'm assuming the Alolan Raichu to also be Scarf.
No, it wasn't. He knocked off the Choice Specs earlier in the match.
Oh, well, okay, that makes sense now. Okay, good. Well, no, when it died. But, okay, so the speed tie didn't really happen. I should have definitely scouted for that, but, well, then he didn't, and I'm assuming that's why he's my number 11 and your number 10.
Yeah, he really did not play this match very well, in my opinion. He played very sloppily. He thundered twice on the Goodra for some reason. I'm not sure why, probably predicting Slowbro, but he had no reason to switch out from Goodra against a Nidoking. Even if Ice Beam was coming, Goodra can take it and then just Draco you and do a lot of damage. There's no need to try and predict Goodra to switch out.
Yeah, a piece of advice I'd like to give back then is, like, you can run mixed versus sets versus teams like that have, like, dedicated physical and dedicated special walls. For example, this team had a Skarm, a Slowbro, and a Goodra, and then the roles are kind of set already. I mean, Skarm can be versatile, but Slowbro is generally then your Fizz Death Wall, and Goodra is going to be your Spadef Wall. So you can bring Thunder, because, well, that's probably why it was running Rain Dance.
I guess.
But you can run Poison Jab on the side, or like Ice Punch or something to hit the Goodra harder on the physical side. So you can run mixed Nidoking. But for some reason I'm assuming that Nidoking was like also maybe Scarf or Specs or something, because it kept repeating the same moves, so maybe it was logged, but I have no idea.
Maybe, but I don't know. I felt like he definitely could have played around the Goodra a lot better. Like he had a Registeel like to go into.
Yeah, so that was very unnecessary on his behalf. So that's why he's my number 11. I'm not sure if you have anything to say about this guy.
Not much. I got all that I wanted to say about him off my chest. You talked about the interesting Mantine set, and I already talked about some of the mistakes he put in that match. So he's my number 10.
Mm-hmm. So going to my number 10 then, it's going to be Black City Unown. So there we go. We just switched those around. As I said already, I was less impressed by Kiwan Lucario than I was by Black City Unown because there was some merit in their plays. Because the first 10 turns, or first 8 or 9 turns, they had going for them. And I thought Cincinnati Bellows were going to get it. Unfortunately, they ended up sacking for no particular reason. They could have just sacked them on they had in instead of their Garchomp. Because they sent in a Garchomp on a Spec-Sep Strikeout.
Predicting an electric type move.
Predicting the electric type move, but he went for HP Ice there.
And
basically, Nafit at that point had to start making plays in order to get back into this game.
Mm-hmm.
Basically meaning over predictions. So eventually, you just got swept by a double dancing Drapion. Had your Garchomp been alive, that would not have happened in the slightest. So basically, I do think that as soon as you made that risky play with a Garchomp, you basically forgot to identify the mons that you needed to win, and that's where everything went downhill. And from that point on, like everything turned around, and you started losing instead of winning. Another note I made is the exact same thing you did, where he stayed in with Mug on the Gligar when he had a Togekiss. I mean, eventually he switched that in, but that was just to get it toxic, and then Gligar would die to toxic itself. So that was also very unnecessary. So, I mean, all in all, just kind of a sloppy performance.
Yeah,
so hoping to see you just climb back on that horse and just do better.
Yeah, it was definitely a less than stellar performance. I've already talked about what I wanted to say about it back in number 11, so I guess we can move on to our number 9 then.
Mm-hmm.
So for my number 9, I have the Detroit Magnetons. So
good, because I have the same one.
All right, so we can talk about this. We talked about Hero setting up too early in matches. It has been a theme for the Detroit Magnetons to set up really early in these matches, and this is no different. Colton set up way too early with Como-O, when Cresselia was still alive and could take any hit no problem, as well as he set up in front of a Mon that can carry Dazzling Gleam, or even Ice Beam, which would have still done a good amount of damage, or could have even just Scald Burned you. So, overall, not the best time to set up.
So, a note I'd like to make as well. Como is pathetic. It did, at +1, the Dragon Claw did 26% to Cresselia. I know Cresselia is fat and everything, but that is just pathetic. So I'm kind of suggesting we should drop Como to tier 3,
I'm in favor.
maybe even 4.
I'm in favor to dropping it to tier 3, but moving on from there.
Just that on the side, but they even got quite some hacks as well. They got quite the defense drops. First on Tangrowth with the crunch on T-Tar, and he got the defense drop like twice or something on Tentacruel with the liquidation from Golisopod. So it wasn't even that luck wasn't on his side. Well, eventually he did red card out with his Mimikyu, and he got Magearna. So
that was the worst red card ever.
He red carded out to Tangrowth, and then that was just quite unfortunate. So Magearna came in and just could straight up kill it. That was unfortunate, but you know what? Those things happen as well. But all in all, the hacks were slightly in favor of the Detroit Magnetons, and they still got molested.
Overall, I think that the main thing that did him in was he brought nothing to handle Tangrowth, and that is a huge mistake. Tangrowth, in probably both of our opinions, is one of the best walls in League format. So
probably is the best wall in League format. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Let's go.
Anyway.
Get out.
Anyway, Tangrowth, if you don't bring something for Tangrowth, it's just going to wall your entire team, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like, Colton has a sand aspect on his team, so Tangrowth was definitely going to come this match. And if I'm being honest, he didn't really have much to really handle Tangrowth on his roster. Potentially, the only thing I can see is really Vikavolt and kind of Golisopod, which he did bring Golisopod, but he let that just get destroyed by a Leaf Storm from Tangrowth, so that didn't happen.
Yeah, and looking at his team, he brought 6 physical ones, right? And then he had a regen, Rocky Helmet, Tangrowth standing right in front of him. So even Como was physical because it revealed the Dragon Claw, and it was Dragon Dance. Mimikyu was a Sword Dancing set. So everything just basically got destroyed by Tangrowth as long as Jose played it quite clever and just kept his Tangrowth alive and would have switched out every single time early enough. But looking at the fact that he brought 4 dedicated walls, he's not going to let his win con go.
Yeah. So overall, I think that the Detroit Magtons had a bad matchup on paper, and they just couldn't really overcome that matchup, really. They didn't really have enough to beat Tangrowth. The only thing on his team that really could have is Vikavolt, and even then, Vikavolt doesn't really do the best against the rest of the Seattle Seegers team.
Mm-hmm.
So in the end, I think he just kind of... In the end, it was just no match. Colton was kind of no match for the team Jose had drafted.
Oh.
So I guess now we can move on to our number 8. Do we both have Cincinnati Beldums?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, for number 8, I have the Cincinnati Beldums. Nice job getting another win, PC. Couple of notes though. It's interesting that you had Hydro Vortex on your Gyarados as your Z move. Looking at the Black City Unknowns team, all their walls barring Seismitoad are neutral to water, so I guess I can see why you wanted to bring Hydro Vortex on your Gyarados. I commend you for overcoming a haxy start with your Darmanitan getting Thunderbolt critted and paralyzed, but I think that could have been averted by just clicking Flare Blitz, for the reason that if you look at the Mons you had remaining left in the battle, a Metagross, a Darmanitan, I'm trying to remember, a Drapion, and a Zebstrika, which was Spec, so it could kill Porygon 2 at that point, and one other Mon I can't remember at this moment. Overall, Porygon 2 didn't do anything for the rest of the match, so I understand why the Black City Unknown just left it in to die. He didn't want to risk anything else getting too much damage on it, so I think that he really should have. I think that PC should have just clicked Flare Blitz in that moment instead of trying to be fancy and Will-O-Wisp predicting the Garchomp to come in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I understand the play. It was an okay play, but all in all, it was somewhat risky in a situation where he didn't really have to take a risk.
Yeah, and then he made some good predictions since he was at the tail end of the match. He was able to get a Toxic on a Togekiss, which was pretty good, and he was managed to get the HP Ice into the Zebstrika. Which
literally won you the game, or basically lost him the game.
Pretty much. And then afterwards, Drapion, all of that Drapion needed to do was come in on Celesteela, set up, and then just sweep the rest of his team.
Yeah.
So
it was basically the only Drapion set at that point that the Black Sea and would have lost to, and it's exactly what you brought. So, call it luck, call it good prep, but all in all, yeah, it was quite lucky, I guess.
Fun fact, Mega Metagross actually never touched the field. It remained in regular Metagross form the entire time. It never even got to see any battle.
Huh. That's very PC-like.
Yeah. So, who do you have as your number 8?
My number 8 would then be Oregon Old Man, which hurts my tummy, right? But all in all, it was not a very solid performance versus LA Slowkings. Worst part is I only made notes on the LA Slowkings, basically because what I wanted to say is that Oregon Ultman didn't necessarily do that much wrong, but they didn't necessarily do anything right throughout the game either. I mean, bringing Scarf Diggersby, he recognized his win cons reasonably well. He knew that, okay, I just need to damage his team, and then Diggersby just plows through it completely. But sacking her, throwing him a champ there for not a very good reason, I was not a fan. And then eventually, Yeah, Megasis did sufficient damage for a Diggersby could kill, so all in all you identified your win con, but it was a given win con. Before, when you were prepping, you already realized, well, this man really has nothing for Diggersby. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I have the Oregon Element as my number 7, and I have similar reasoning for why he's at number 7. He didn't really do much that was fantastical to get this win. He kind of just built a team that was pretty standardish, but had the win con in Diggersby, and then just played Diggersby and Mega Scizor well enough to where he could win. It wasn't really anything too special. So I guess that wraps up all we have to say for Oregon Old Men. He really didn't do too much this week.
Oh, it was an odd performance, let's call it that. So we usually talk a lot, right? But there's just not much to say about this.
Yeah, there was really not.
So my number 7 then, as we switched a couple around once more, would be Cincinnati Belgium. First half of your game, oh my god, please don't do that ever again. Second half of the game, if you keep that up, well, then you might end up top 3 or 4. I may be exaggerating both statements, but, it's kind of what I do. But Cincinnati Belgium started making plays at about turn 10. The over-prediction, they have to start over-predicting, and that's what they did right. So they were forced into this position, and usually this is where you start losing. But their opponent was relatively unexperienced, and thus he took advantage off of that, and he just showed them, all corners of the room. I don't think that's an actual English expression, is it?
That is not an English idiom. No, it's not.
Damn it! It works in Dutch though. But he just destroyed them. That's what that means. But sacking off the Gligar to get off Toxic on Togekiss, that was pretty good because he didn't want more damage on his Muck. That was pretty obvious, but you shouldn't have let in the Muck that long to start with. So yeah, all in all, from turn let's forget those first 8-9 turns, and then it was overall a very solid performance. So that's why I moved you up a couple spots. And if you keep doing this, well, then once again we have to move you up a couple spots.
Mm-hmm. So I already said my piece on Cincinnati Belgium back at number 8. So moving on to number 6, he is not going to be very happy that he's still this low. I have Bronson of the Portland Poliwraths, especially since he's below the person you lost to this week, which is the Cedric and the DMR Shadow Absols. Now I have valid reasoning for this. Looking at the team matchup, he really didn't bring anything that could really handle Mega Charizard X. Even Mega Venusaur, which could take hits if it's physically defensive, also had the double task of trying to take on Porygon Z as well. So if one of them didn't take him out, the other one would probably do so. So I think him not having much for Mega Charizard X kind of led to his downfall. And I want to talk about 2 particular points of hacks in particular. First, I'll do the one that happened first, and that's the Thunderbolt crit on Starmie, which could have mattered if the Mega Charizard did not have Roost, in my opinion. Because from the looks of it, that Starmie looked like to be the support set, which normally is max HP, max speed. So it wouldn't be doing more than Charizard could Roost off. So if Charizard had Roost and then a Dragon Dance per se, he would have been able to set up and just win against the Starmie, even if the Starmie lived. If Charizard didn't have Roost, then the Starmie getting crit did kind of cost him the game, because then the Starmie could have been able to take out the Charizard, because after some recoil, the Charizard would have been at range to die from a Scald or a Psyshock. And then the second point of hacks I want to talk about is the burn on the Landorus thanks to Flare Blitz. Yeah, he got a lot of hacks this match, but I think that this hacks didn't matter as much as most people will think. The burn on the Landorus did not matter because the Porygon Z would have lived a non-burned Earthquake no matter what, and that would have been the switch in to respond to it. And Bronson's not normally the type of player to really switch out when he's set up with a Mon, so I don't really think that that would have changed much about the interaction between Porygon Z and Landorus.
Would have chipped it sufficiently though, so that other Mons eventually would be easier. Would have had an easier time taking out the PZ.
I will not lie, that is true. But even if that was the case, it would be Mega Venusaur taking out the the Porygon Z, in which case Charizard could come in and can either Roost or Dragon Dance. A lot of this hinges on the fact that if Cedric has Roost. If Cedric does not have Roost, then okay, yeah, I think Portland Poliwag should have won this match. But if he's like most Mega Charizard X's and had Roost, then I think Cedric would have won this no matter what, even without the hacks.
Well, seeing Cedric once again brought like an all-offensive team and a Quagsire, I'm somewhat assuming that this may have been just a Dragon Dance 3 attacking set. But once again, I don't know. We should ask Cedric.
I'll ask him after the video, but in my opinion, that kind of points to potentially it having Roost, since if he only has one Mon with Bulk, he might want to keep the Mega Charizard around longer. So I think that, to me, that says he might have Roost more than he doesn't have a Roost, but that's a matter of opinion.
Okay, so my number 6, Indus Valley Infernape. I moved up 2 spots, so you know what, Rohith, you should be very happy about that. Reason being, I only moved him up 2 spots, and I didn't move him above the person that he won over, is because, well, the person that he won didn't prep very well.
No, he didn't.
He basically won at the start. At the point bringing Scarftran was a very good bring. Scarftran ended up getting 5 kills.
It was insane.
No offense, but Scarftran shouldn't do that unless you keep it at like the end of the game. Like severely weaken all of his mons and then clean up with Scarf Eruption. Yeah. I can take that, fine. But as soon as you can just bring it in every single time you get a safe switch,
just become like the revenge killer.
Claim a soul. Well, if your opponent brings like Entei, Mega Gardevoir, Roserade, Bronzong, Crobat, and Buzzwole, those are 3 fire weaknesses. Mega Gardevoir died to Scarf Flash Cannon. Entei dies to, well, Rocks plus Scarf Earth Power, and then Roserade, well, the other things just die to Eruption. Well, yeah, but your opponent basically is handing you a free win. Admittedly, you exploited that free win very well by making it a 4-0, and that was good. That was fine. That was good. But had your opponent prepped better this week, I do think that you would have had a much more difficult time. Maybe still could have won, but not as comfortable as you would have. So that's why I didn't put you up too much. But you know what? All in all, a very solid performance, and I haven't seen that in a couple of weeks. Not at all.
All right, so moving on to our number 5. You probably have something different, but for me, for number 5, I have the DMR Shadow Absols. Overall, his playing this match was, pretty good. If he had Dragon Dance Roost, or just Roost in general, he would have won that match even without the hacks. But I'll ask him after the match. Some things he did well in this match. He kept his late game sweepers being PZ and Zard until he really needed it near the latter half of the game. So that was pretty good on his part. He did make a questionable play though in going to Quag when Thunderous Eye has been known to sometimes have Grass Knot to handle mons like that. So that's one questionable play he could have made. Overall, the only reason he isn't in the top 4 anymore for me is because I think the other 4 players have been playing better. Minus the 4th player, because he just played well this weekend, and a couple of the weeks, not totally, but the other 3 teams I think have been playing better than he has for the duration of the season so far. So that's why I've put him down to number 5.
My number 5 then would be, and this is a man who's been doing great thus far. The last 2 weeks has been very much disappointing me. There we go. So no surprise. IO Focus Energy. This week's performance, you underprepped. Yeah, like you legitimately underprepped. You basically lost a team preview.
Okay. I have him as my number 3, but I want to also make this point right now. You could have brought either Salamence or Rotom Wash, and a lot of the problems you had in that match could have been solved.
Yeah. So, Iowa Focus Energy, basically no fire resist, which cost him also his Mega Gardevoir, which was the biggest offensive threat to Rohith's team, because thus far, I'm looking at his team, and he doesn't necessarily have anything that switches into that well. There's basically nothing that can take a solid combination of 2 hits. I know you have to hit a fire ground, well, fine. That would have probably OHKO'd the Heatran because it was offensive. And then Tyrantrum would have gone down to Hyper Voice. Mandibuzz, oh boy. Mega Lopunny, gone. Mesprit probably can't take 2 since you were also modest. And then Rotom Heat probably also didn't take 2 Psychics. So, especially not with Rock Up. So basically your Mega Guard died, which was the biggest offensive threat, and from that point on out, Rohith was just like laughing in your face. Like, okay, I can take on this team reasonably well. So at that point it was just damage control, but even that didn't go all that smoothly. Admittedly, I was very surprised that a +2 Entei to a Mandibuzz could not do more than 46%.
That was abysmal.
That was pathetic. So, yeah, at that point, his team completely and utterly walled your team and eventually ended up destroying it, and every single time Heatran came in, it just, got a kill. So, very disappointed with this week's performance. But next week, oh boy, you better do better, because I'm going to put you at the bottom.
This. I still have, if you can't tell, I still have Nick relatively high because I still have faith in him, but I'll get to him when I get to him. I'll get to him when I get to him. So, moving on, let's continue talking about this match because I actually have the Indus Valley Infernape at number 4. I've always held the Indus Valley Infernape relatively high. This has been my version of the Oregon Old Men for Socrates during the beginning of the season.
Well, they're 8th now.
Well, yeah, they're in 8th now, but I just think that the Indus Valley Infernape are getting back into the swing of things. They brought a pretty good team this week. I will admit that a lot of the win had to do with Nick under prepping, but I still think that the prep that the Indus Valley Infernape brought was still very good. Scarfed Heatran, as we mentioned before, was a good bring, especially since Nick didn't bring too much to handle it. The one thing, there were a few weird plays. Like he picked a weird time to tricking the Tri-Spectre's Rotom as the Rose Raid was switching in. So I don't think you can't predict a Rose Raid to come in against a Rotom Heat. But even so, that ended up giving Rotom Heat the Black Sludge, so that wasn't that great. But overall, I think he played this match fine. He played it to the point where Heatran was able to get 5 kills, so that's pretty nice for him. And overall, I think he just did a good job this week.
That sure is an opinion.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
So let's continue to my number 4 then. My number 4 is Portland Poliwags. Well, you continuously stating I'm not a fan, but I do firmly believe that you only lost because of hacks. And, well, a lot of people underperformed, in my opinion, this week, so you just moved up a spot. You lost because of hacks. I mean, you had some very odd sets. Knockoff for Uniclus, meh. I'm not a fan, but
it was it was uncalled for.
Even if I disagree with your methods, with the way you build your teams, it seems to be working out quite a bit. Since you stepped away from, I'm going to bring Smeargle every single time, I'm just going to kick some butt. Since you stepped away from that strategy, life has been treating you pretty kindly thus far. So, all in all, nifty Lando sets last week. This week, you also brought some nifty sets. You brought a lot of speed control, where you figured, what? Agility Thunderous, Rock Polish Lando T, all kinds of creative, let's call it that, stuff. And it would have worked out, in my opinion, if, well, the Immortal Shadow Absols would have not gotten so many hacks. So that's why I moved you up a spot. So despite losing, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, and I hope you don't make this all go into thin air and just continue performing and do that next week.
I still think the hacks didn't matter as much as people think, but that's just my opinion. Moving on from that though, I'll get on to my number 3, and for my number 3, I have the Iowa Focus Energy. We did a lot of swaps. There's a lot of swapping.
We swapped a lot of teams.
Yeah. So if you can't tell what his number 3 is, you'll find out soon enough. Anyway. So for the Iowa Focus Energies, they did not prep well this week. They as I mentioned before, back when Socrates mentioned he was his number 5, he had 2 things that could take fire hits well and actually had decent matchups against the team that against Rohith's team, like some sort of especially defensive road and wash would have done well this week, or some sort of any Salamence really would have done pretty well against his team looking at it. But you didn't bring it. You didn't bring anything to take a fire hit, even though Rohith has 2 fire types, which he's used pretty well for the most part of the season, or at least used frequently enough for the most part of the season to know what to do with for the most part. And so I'm not really sure what thought process went in your mind with that. You left Mega Gardevoir in to take on a Heatran with full health, and if it was a bulky Heatran, I'm not sure if Hidden Power Ground would have killed. So I don't agree with staying in with Mega Gardevoir on that play. So overall, I just think the Iowa Focus Energy didn't play that well this week. But the reason I still have them really high, considering what they did this week, is because I don't know. I still have faith in them a lot. I still have faith in them. They did so well the first three weeks, and week 4 they lost to the hacks because of that Thunder Wave not allowing them to capitalize on the Portland Poliwag's screw up. And then this week they just under prep. But I think he'll get over the speed bump. If he doesn't, he'll drop dramatically on my list. But if he does, then he'll stay relatively high still.
So, my number 3 then would be the DMR Shadow Absol. Exact same reasoning that Matthew had for Nick, I have for Cedric. I mean, admittedly, they did let a Wish get passed into the Reuniclus, but maybe they figured out the Reuniclus wasn't all that much of a problem. And they got quite some crits throughout this game. They got a lucky ass burn on the Landortharian with a Flare Blitz.
Still don't think that matters.
Some people don't even know that Flare Blitz has a chance to burn. Okay. Well, you know what? Portland Poliwags found out the hard way. Yeah. So,
it's definitely demoralizing.
A very, very much repetitive state of events throughout this game. But overall, you've been doing so well in the first couple of weeks, and the hyper-offensive team seems to suit your playstyle, and this time you actually have the mons that are quite threatening. And Heligo, Lio, Zardax, PZ, maybe you want to bring like different PZs, but I've already stated this multiple times, but you do not seem to listen one bit. So I'm just going to repeat.
You're going to keep trying.
I'm going to keep trying. I'm a very adamant person. So, yeah, that's, I don't want to punish you. Like, this week was all in all not a very solid performance. But then again, it's versus a person that plays quite janky. You cannot predict what the Portland Poliwags will do. Like,
I'll give you that much, yeah.
The slightest. They'll bring Scarf Florigas or Bandsflor if they see it to work against your team. Maybe there's a lot of prepping involved. Maybe there is, I don't know. But you know what? You played against a very unpredictable opponent. You still came out on top. Admittedly, there were some hacks, but overall, what you've done in the past just impresses me reasonably much, so that's why I still have you at my number 3.
It's funny. It's funny. Cedric has drafted offense a lot of a lot of times in PICA. I think he's only drafted offense, and he's been here since the inception of PICA. And after 4 seasons and two mid seasons, he finally has a team that is actually doing some work.
That actually fits his playstyle, or maybe D2 is actually good for Cedric. I don't know.
Perhaps. So I guess we can move on to our number 2.
Our number 2.
Yeah, at this point we have the same number 2 and number 1, and if you guys know the process of elimination, you know who those are. Plus, you can probably see it on the screen if you're not blind. So moving on, we got the Palm Beach Palisades as our number 2. Not too much to say about the Palm Beach Palisades. They played really solidly this week. They prepped kind of standardish, but they played it well, and they were able to capitalize on the screw-ups of the Kawhi Lucario, so that was pretty nice. Good to see Dodrio do some stuff, so that's nice.
Yeah, all in all, Palm Beach Palisades, just like last week, came up with a defensive core that they maintained, even though the Mantine set should have had like Air Slash or Scald or something, just to try and get some flinches and more just like burden damage or more of the toxic damage, more whirlpool damage. More residual damage, all in all, but they came up with a defensive core that the Kawhi are at a very tough time of breaking. So, and that's basically why they won. They ended up winning 5-0, and they only lost their Goodra because, well, Goodra gets easily whittled and has to take quite some hits, especially when there's a Nidoking on the other side of the field. So it's quite acceptable that it died eventually, and it got toxic because of the Mantine.
Yeah.
So
imagine if Goodra got some instant recovery.
All in all, he just basically outwalled his opponent with a combination of Skarmory, Slowbro, Goodra, and a bit of Cobalion. And then I was very happy to see Dodrio just put in some work as well. So yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about Palm Beach Palisades as well.
Yeah. So I guess we can move on to our number 1, which is, no surprise, the Seattle Seadras.
This may be a personal record, but okay. So Seattle Seadras just bought a fat team, exactly like the Palm Beach Palisades. They brought a defensive core that the opponent could not break. And it seems to be a trend with the Seattle Seadras. Whenever they bring Kieran Black, that it just doesn't do anything. That is just there as like a backup plan if things go to shit.
It's really funny that that's how it works out. Kieran Black is one of the scariest Pokemon in League formats, and for the Seattle Seadras, they haven't really needed to use it.
No, they basically outwall their opponent, and then Dougie gets 1 or 2 kills.
I think this is only the second time he's brought Dougie.
Sitting on the bench or so, it's just sitting there staring, like, oh, please, can I do something this week?
Kieran Black plus Benchwarmer doesn't make any sense.
No, but it's happening. And Seattle Seadras are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And the mons that are putting in work are Grisalia, Magirda, Tentacruel, Tangrowth. Like, fat stuff.
Yeah. And Mega Pidgeot if you include the other
something I'm particularly fond of. Yeah, I'm just Mega. But, you know what? I'm not meant to be one of the most effective things I've seen in my life. That's probably not even an exaggeration, but
kind of cut out there.
Not needing Cure on your draft, that's impressive, to say the least. And I just loved seeing Tangrowth putting in that funniest of work. Tangrowth basically walled all 6 of the mons that you had. If you brought 6 Tangrowths, 6 fist out Tangrowths, he would have been crying. You would have won 6.
Yeah, that would have been too much.
That would have been too much for anyone to handle, really. But I would have liked to see some more mixed stats, some more, versatility on your opponent's side. But it didn't happen, and you just capitalized on it once again. Figured what your win con was and just executed it really well.
Yeah, Seattle Seadras have been dominating this entire season, and if they keep playing like this and keep capitalizing on their opponent's misplays, they'll probably stay number 1 and win the entire league.
Yeah, and they may even go flawless, but you know what? As soon as someone says that, it may not happen, and that's exactly why I said it. So,
well, let's see who he's playing against next.
Flawless,
oh, wait, he's playing against the Palm Beach Palisades this week.
That is going to be very interesting. So, I guess that's where we wrap up, right?
I think so. I think we are pretty much good. Oh, I forgot to mention the trades of this week. Let me just pull them up. Alright. So the trades this week have been Iowa Focus Energy trading Palisand for Rhyperior, and then the Cincinnati Belgians trading Gligar for Crocodile and Drapion for Alolan Ninetales. So I think I'll start off with Nick's trade first. Yeah, that makes sense. He kind of he told me about this trade. He wanted another rocker besides Bronzong. After getting destroyed by fire types, I think he wanted another fire resist just for more versatility, even though that was more a problem with his prep. He doesn't like Palisand, but he will admit that it is a good Pokemon. But Rhyperior does fit. But he feels that Rhyperior fits a lot better on his team, and I think he can do some work with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, do you want to say anything else about the Palisand Rhyperior trade?
No, it's a good trade. It's fine.
All right, and then following that, we have the Cincinnati Belgians trading Gligar for Crocodile and Drapion for Alolan Ninetales. Now, I talked to BC about this trade. This is a long stretch plan going over 3 weeks. So that's why his team currently kind of looks like it has a few holes, like only having one hazard removal right now. But overall, I think these trades are pretty good. Crocodile is definitely a better ground type than Gligar if you want to be able to not always have to run it defensively. And I think Alolan Ninetales is a nice Pokemon, giving you Auroraville, which is a really nice move to have, and just being a general nuisance to dragons, considering it's Ice Fairy. The only problem I have with this trade is that he loses Poison type as well as his access to Toxic Spikes. But
no, he still has a.
Oh yeah, Cofagrigus, I forgot about that. Right, but he still loses his Poison type, and given that his team is kind of Fairy weak, that's pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you want to say about those trades?
I think those trades are fine. Like Crocodile is amazing,
as you may know. So it's always a good trade. Just Stab Knockoff is just generally really good to have. Knockoff is probably even better in League format. And then I'm not sure about Alola Ninetales. I'm just not sure about it, but I'm really, curious to see how that'll work out. So thus far, I'm going to just not give any judgment or just say anything about it. I just really want to see it.
Alright, so with that being said, I think we're good for this week now. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, give you that, I'm making someone happy with these videos. And we will see you guys in the next Power Rankings.
Bye-bye.